everybody, and welcome to the second episode of Tales of the Weird and Wonderful. I am Max, and today we are going to be talking about fairies. Fairies usually have magical powers and have a close relationship with humans. They can appear as a dwarf creature, typically wearing green clothes and hair. The term fairy goes back to the Middle Ages in Europe, but some varying forms appears in Greek and Arabic mythology. Some say they're like ghosts, spirits of the dead, or fallen angels. Not too good for heaven and not too bad for hell. Brownies and other hobgoblins are guardian fairies. I've already talked about hobgoblins in my past episode, and today we are also going to be talking about brownies, after we talk about fairies in general. Banshees are less common and more sinister. They always come to foretell a tragedy. The more modern fairy appears as a more appropriate being for children's books and movies, rather than the more serious and sinister side of the folklore tradition. They were feared as dangerous and powerful beings, although they were sometimes friendly with humans. They have no souls and simply perish at death. That is sad, and I wish Tinkerbell would not just vanish. Poof. That's sad. They can carry off children and leaving a substitute changeling in their place. Changelings are deformed offspring of fairies. The abducted human child is usually given to the devil or used to strengthen the fairy stock. The child may be given back if you make the changeling laugh or by torturing the changeling, which led to many cases of child abuse. The existence of changelings originated from the idea that infants are more susceptible to being possessed by demons. Fairies are said to also bring adults to fairyland, aka death. It's the pre-Christian version of death. Fairies are said to be human-sized or smaller, depending on the type and the origin. Now on to the topic of brownies. Brownies are not just baked treats. Brownies are fairies. They are a mythical creature and friendly household spirit from English and Scottish folklore. They are said to be short and dressed in rags or no clothes at all. They resemble a hob, similar to the hobgoblin. They take part in pranks similar to fairies and goblins. In some sources, I heard that brownies were goblins, but also in some sources I heard they were fairies. Are goblins and fairies the same thing? I do not know. It's very confusing. It's all merging together. It's beautiful. They would come out and finish any incomplete task for the household. They try to stay hidden and be unseen by the human eyes. They stayed out of sight and stayed living in the unused part of the house. To say thanks, you may give them food, like cakes and cookies, but if you want to get rid of them, you simply give them a new pair of clothes. This sounds very familiar to Harry Potter when Dobby received a sock.
Master has given Dobby a sock.
If the household mistreated the brownie, they would simply just leave, or they might turn into a more malicious fae called boggards. Boggards could trouble and play tricks instead of helping around the house. Brownies originated from the British Isles and go back for thousands of years. And that is all of the information for fairies and for brownies. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. and I will see you in the next one. Bye!